Uh, we're live.
We are live. Are we live?
It says live on your.
I know. I see it live. Hello. We are coming to you live from different area codes of our society. I am Latoya J. Mitchell, and on this call, I have Miss Naya and Miss Alicia. We are really celebrating a whole fresh new month. This is the 1st of September, but most importantly, this is the 1st of September on a Wednesday, and we are women who are living the wealthy lifestyle. So we are Women and Wealth Wednesday, and so at this time, I really wanted to welcome all who are viewing this live stream. We just really want to come through and share or deposit some wealth strategies into the lives of our queens, into our lives of our family members who are in business for themselves, who are entrepreneurs, women in wealth. So, with this being said, I want to give the ladies, the queens on this line, the opportunity. Just what is your background? Who are you? Right? What is your first name? What is your last name? What is your background? Where are you located? Tell our audience the power of who they are receiving this deposit from. So, who wants to start?
I'll start. So, I'm Alicia Jones uh, from New Jersey by way of Atlanta, and now I'm here in Texas. So, who is Alicia Jones? Okay, so you have Alicia Jones, the mom, the wife, um, the dog mom, the vegan. So, check me out on Facebook. I have a page, a health and wellness page called Alicia's Corner. I'm providing all kind of healthy recipes, tips of the day, and all kind of health related information. No, I'm not a doctor, but you will get information that your doctor will not share with you. Um, and for those who have fur babies, like I have two wonderful fur babies, I have my own online store called My Best Store, my BESS store.com. I try to update with items that you can't just get at PetSmart or Chewy or Petco. I just cater to my animals. I do have some things for cats, but it is mostly about the dogs, especially the small to medium dogs. Um, Last year, I became an investor. All right, full time investor. So now, instead of working for someone else, after working for someone else more than 30 years, now I work for me. So now I call my own shots, make my own hours, and I am the CEO of my future. So that's me, Alicia
All
Jones.
righty. And Miss Naya.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you. Alicia, I learned so much about you. Thanks for that incredible intro.
Oh look, I have questions coming up just for off that snippet that she gave us, but I just want to give you
Right?
the opportunity. I have questions already.
That's incredible. Such a great intro. All right, so my name is Naya Ndefru. So if you're wondering where that name is from, Ndefru is from Cameroon. It's in West Africa. We're neighbors with Nigeria, and a lot of people think a lot of Nigerians like to say Cameroonians were Nigerian, but we're not. We Cameroonian. It's a little different. Um, I a little bit about me. Let's see. I'm a mom. Okay, I live in the Seattle metropolis out in Washington, so we're pretty close to Canada. When I said when anyone visits us up here, it's because they really love us. Because nobody's coming out to visit in Seattle. But I'm very grateful for the life that we're building here. I have two kids. They're 9 and 7. I have a daughter named Zolani. My son is named Amani. Their names both mean peace. And I have a beauty brand called Zolani Beauty, named after my daughter. So the idea behind my brand was to create space for women who look like all of us on this call to have products that cater to us, in my daughter's honor. Um, I left formal employment where I worked in public health. I love my job. I've been in that space for over 15 years, traveling across the world, doing different things, which I thought were really, really important. I was exhausted. And 2019, I left employment to work for myself full time. Fast forward, the pandemic came and it brought a new dimension to business. And I was looking for new opportunities. And that's how I was privileged. I like to say it's a privilege to have come into this space where I have the privilege and honor of partnering with both of you ladies, in this investing space, learning about digital entrepreneurship and digital franchising and digital investing. So I'm grateful for this opportunity. So I like to call myself, an entrepreneur and investor, just passionate about creating collective consciousness about wealth strategies for our communities and globally as well. So that's a little bit about me.
All right. So this is going to be very powerful. So listen, ladies, what I'm hearing is entrepreneurship from the both of you queens, okay? And so literally on this evening, just to provide some value to our listeners, our viewers, on exactly that word entrepreneurship. But just not entrepreneurship, but when it comes down to being a female, a queen, a boss in business, providing some strategies to help our ladies to elevate, not just in their business, but also elevate in their personal life, elevate in their mindset, elevate all together. So if each one of you can just give us some wealth strategies, a tip that you can help the next lady, maybe who a queen who is just starting her business, right? Who is going through that transition. Both of you, Alicia and Miss Naya, you guys, you ladies said that y'all transitioned from the corporate world, so now you have freed up your time, right? You are going after your dreams. You are literally going and fulfilling your purpose on why you're here on this earth. So with that being said, now you have a queen who's looking up to you. What tips, what advice can you share with the next queen, the next rising queen?
I like to talk about time and energy. I found that I've been on this entrepreneurship journey a long time. I've had a business or a side hustle for as long as I can remember. But being a mom, or whether you're transitioning into corporate or into your side hustle, it comes with a lot of moving parts. There's so many moving parts, and it can be energy draining. So you may think you left corporate to secure time, freedom, but what ends up happening, or at least it happened for me, was I had the freedom to control my schedule, but I still felt like I was being pulled in a lot of directions because, especially if you're starting out as a solopreneur, maybe you don't come to the table with a huge investment to bring a team on board right away. You're trying to do a lot of little things by yourself. So, and what I found is I would get so exhausted. I would be irritable. My kids would be walking on eggshells and stuff like that. So time management, being honorable to yourself, right? Saying, this is my time to work and this is my time to put the brakes on. It's really important, or else find yourself working around the clock, right? Or this is time I'm supposed to spend with my kids, and then give yourself permission to do that, because the next day is another day, because I find I could just keep going and going and going. When you don't protect your energy, at least for me, I find that I end up crashing, and it affects your physical health, your mental health, your relationships and stuff like that. The beauty, I want to paint it all gloom, is that you do have the freedom and learning to adopt new systems. So what I've learned in this season is to make it simpler, right? One, ask for help. That could be getting on a call with other entrepreneurs like we are today and brainstorming, figuring out how we can pool resources to do stuff together, right? And create bigger impact. Also, whether it's hiring a personal assistant or finding tools online that make your work simpler, right? There's also that. And also not being afraid to ask. Like, I asked my sisters for help. I used to not like to do it. But guess what? This world, we weren't made to just do it by ourselves. This is why I love the CEO movement. That's why I love the CEO Queens, because we work together. We work together. We love on each other. I know, like the other day, I saw that LaToya, I saw you were on a call that I couldn't make it. And I was like, ooh, I'm going to ask LaToya about those NFTs, because she was like, oh, everybody needs to get on this call. And I was like, I can't get on that call, but I know I could like piggyback and ping you and say, can you tell me what we're supposed to be doing? How are we making money doing this? But the internet has simplified business, right? You don't have to have physical products anymore. You don't have to I used to have inventory all over my house, flowing or overflowing. You don't have to do that anymore. But it takes having a great community, great mentorship, and great systems. So plugging yourself into those systems, you can find new ways of making money. And that's what we're all about here, right? Finding the new ways to make it simple, to make it easy, and to still make it speedy so we can make money day and night, around the clock. So,
well, let me piggyback off of what you said earlier in regards to burnouts, right? Mental burnouts, crashing, not getting enough rest. Miss Alicia, she always gets on me. I promise you. She always tell me, LaToya, get your rest. And I used to roll my eyes. All right, Miss Alicia, you don't understand. You don't understand. I have to go. I have to do it right now. I can't sleep, right? I can't sleep. But one thing I want to piggyback this question to Miss Alicia. Miss Alicia, when it comes to getting rest and your physical health, and the reason why I'm asking you is because I know that you are really keen and you're an advocate on the body, right? Natural remedies, vegan. What advice can you give in regards to taking care of yourself, being whole, right? Being whole. What advice can you give?
So I know that when you're trying to start a business or work a business, for me, I was not an entrepreneur. I was trained to go to school, get a good education so that I can work for someone else. So I had to change my mindset. I had to go from being a worker to being the CEO. And a lot of times that is not easy, especially if you've been used to someone telling you what they want you to do. Now you have to make those decisions. So just like when I had to go to work, I knew that if I had to be to work at 8 o'clock, I didn't need to be in the bed later than 11 o'clock at night, between 9 and 11 o'clock at night, so that I can get up and not be tired, so that I can go to work and do a good job. Sometimes when you're starting out a new business, and you're starting from the ground up, it requires a lot of time sometimes. It requires time, it requires hours, but you still have to get your proper rest. What happens is people say, Well, my body, I only need 4 hours of sleep, or I only need 5 hours of sleep. Well, studies have shown that when you don't get the right amount of sleep, and they're looking at your brainwave and activity, people that have dementia and Alzheimer's, they have their brainwave and their activity it has a higher brainwave and activity. And a lot of times when you don't get your rest, that's where it shows up at. So sleep is not just good so that you can feel rested. Sleep is good because it helps your brain, it helps other organs and it helps you to function. I know for me, when I don't get enough rest, I have trouble thinking clearly. Not just being grouchy or a little moody or irritable. I can't think right. It's like I'm in a fog. I'm in a tunnel. I'm not thinking clearly. So when I found out that when they did the scans and they did a study on brains for people who didn't sleep that well, they were a higher candidate. That put them in a higher number, closer to Alzheimer's and dementia. All of that correlates. All of that. No, I said I'm make sure I get my rest. What you do when you're young that you can get away with, it'll catch up to you when you're older. So it may not affect you when you're young, but when you get 40 plus, you will start to feel it in your body. You will start to feel it. So it's important to be balanced. Okay. I know sometimes you may have a project or there's something you may be trying to do, a promotion, and it's okay if sometimes you stay up late to do that presentation or to get those products out or to prepare for the next day. But it shouldn't be on a
The
regular.
norm. Right.
It shouldn't be. It should not be. That should not be your regular schedule. Your regular schedule should not be getting 4 hours of sleep. That shouldn't be a regular pattern. Because you'll have problems in other areas.
I think this call was for Alicia to preach. The way you laughing at Latoya, I know what's going on.
Listen, Linda, listen, let me tell you something. All I can say is when I close my eyes, time waits for nobody. I get all the project ideas coming to my head, all the creativity. So, room for improvement,
Well, because your mind is going, it's working. But you have to find ways to stop it, calm it down, stop it so that you can get your rest. See, I'm one of those people that I can sleep anytime, any place, and anywhere. And most of the time in any condition, under any conditions, I can sleep. I can sleep.
Good for you.
So that's your natural health. Now, your mental health, how to stay healthy mentally. First of all, you want to stay away from naysayers. You want to stay away from negative vibrations, negative people, those people that cause you stress and anxiety, those situations that cause you stress and anxiety. You got to have a balance in everything that you do. And if you are around a bunch of negative people, now is the time, especially if you're in business for yourself, if you want to be successful, now is the time to separate yourself. You have to separate to elevate.
Wow. Did y'all catch that? Separate to elevate. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so powerful, Queen. I think in that separation as well, depending on the type of business you are, any business, I know, especially when you're starting, getting no's can be discouraging. Or whether it's like for my products, or someone be like, I use Mac, right? And I'm like, well, and then I get people who have used my products and say, these are better than MAC. And they love it. So you get the spectrum where you'll find the people who are like, I have something that I'm doing right now that I love. And there's nothing you can do to convince me. That just means that they're not for you. If you want to know that you have to expect no's. I think that was very helpful for me when I came into this space and they were like, expect that you're going to have people who are going to say no. Not everyone's going to buy your product, but that's part of the process. So it doesn't matter what business you're doing, expect the no's. There, if you approach it from a law of averages, then you just know that you just got to keep doing the work. So this is really about encouraging the women, you know, this Winning Wednesday, to expect no, expect to have hard days, right? And think about the process of planting, right? You know, I'm going back to my planting analogy. Things have to sit there for a while. That doesn't mean it's not working, it's not growing, but you don't see the fruit right away. And sometimes you'll have seasons where you just don't see progress. It doesn't mean progress is not being made. It just means you'll see it 3 months from now, 6 months from now. So don't expect that you come in today and you're going to be a millionaire doing your own business, right? Oh, so-and-so did it. They broke the internet. That's very rare. Most entrepreneurs will stay in something for a while, and they'll call them an overnight success, but they've been working at it for 5 years, right? But they're only seeing that last 5 months, and they're like, "Oh, overnight success." That's just not it. So I want to.
We haven't seen you overcoming the struggles, jumping over the hurdles, the tears,
the sleeplessness.
Right? They haven't seen none of that. No. They just have seen the success. But it's a story behind the success, right? It's some heartbreak, some prayers that were prayed deep in the midnight hour, right? They don't see the notices on your doors, right? So yes, success is not overnight. I just had to elaborate.
You know what I wanted to also say, Naya? That's one of the problems that I see with people sometimes. This is not the only problem, but if I know you're selling a product, this is just how I think, and I know everybody doesn't think like me. I'm going to support my small business owners. I'm going to support my Black-owned businesses, and I'm going to support my females. And when I buy a product, first of all, I have no problem with MAC. I'm not here to make MAC get rich. Is MAC giving back to my community? I will have a better chance with you doing something in your community, helping out with your people in your community and those around you, than I will with the organizations we give our money to. We spend our money in some of these places and they don't even give back to our community. They don't support people that look like you or I. But yet our money goes to make them rich. When we have people who look like you and I that's trying to start their own business so that they can make a change and a difference in their family, so that they can have generational wealth, so that they can leave a legacy for their children's children. But yet we don't want to buy because it's not a name brand that we're used to or that we recognize. We have to change our mindset. We have to change our way of thinking. We have to say, listen, I'm going to support that sister. I'm going to support my brother. I'm going to support them.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. It's got to be bigger than what we are looking at. We got to see that it's bigger. We got to support our own. I mean, I'm all for helping everybody else, but at the end of the day, we need to support our own because our own is struggling. We need to get up from the bottom and rise to the top. It's our time to do that.
Yeah.
Now, ladies, when you start your business, how did you fund it? Let's talk about funding, right? Let's talk about money. Let's talk about finances. How did you start that business? What did that start look like?
when I started, I know some people start with loans and different things of that nature, but I didn't go that route. My business started last year during the pandemic. So I started on unemployment. Now, although I was receiving unemployment, I did not receive a profit because you cannot collect unemployment and make a profit. So a lot of the funds that I used to start my business last year really went for startup and setup, and it went for it went to fund. It went to it wasn't a what's the word? It was used to start. It wasn't used to it. The monies went out. They didn't come in. And that's how I wanted it to be, because I feel like you don't want to collect unemployment and receive money. That's a no-no.
Mm-hmm.
So with unemployment, especially when we were getting that extra $600, which that helped a lot, because that helped me to get business license. It helped me to start different things within the academy. It helped me to start my online store, helped me to advertise for my store. Now, had I had that PPP or that loan, of course, I could have gone further if I had those type of funds. But a lot of times that's not how most people start, unless you have like a brick and mortar mom and pop type of situation, where you can actually get a business loan. Most of the time, people start with very little capital. But I made it work. I made it work. I was just very careful with where everything went. I was very careful, just maneuvering and making sure everything, but you got to be very organized, and you got to have a plan. You got to write the vision and make it plain to make it successful. You can't
Now,
keep it here. You got to put it on paper.
And what about you, Naya? Sorry.
Similar. Well, I've had my beauty business for about 5.5 years now, and had some other businesses before that. So I had like a clothing, an outfit where we actually made clothes. So had a number of machines and stuff. So sold that business and kind of put some of that money into this business. But I did ask for loans from my family. So my siblings all put money in the business, and then a friend as well. And then basically have been bootstrapping it, trying not to take more loans. I did, want to go out and go gung ho, but getting funding has been a challenge. So what I'm working on now is developing business credit. Just like personal credit, you can, work on your business credit so we can grow. But it's been a great process learning. I just want to encourage everyone not to despise small beginnings. When I started this business, it would take me almost $12 to do one of these, and I would sell it for maybe 17. And so I was barely making a profit by the time you put packaging and the logo and everything on it. But with time is a great teacher in education, but it's been a long time now. So I'm bringing the cost down, not bringing down the quality. But I went gung ho looking for mentors. I've gone to expos and all kinds of places to hopefully find someone who's been in an industry like this, who can say, this is what you do. And I haven't been able to find that. I found some good camaraderie in the beauty industry. But getting down to the nitty gritty is always a bit challenging, which is what now moving ahead, saying that, in the middle of the pandemic, trying to find other ways to make money and coming into this CEO movement, I found exactly what I was looking for in the investing space, where I have mentorship. I can call a coach and say, can you help me? Or I don't understand, or what am I supposed to be doing next? And how do I create impact? And they're very open and willing to share. So, which is, I say I would pay for this even if there was no products. I say that all the time. Like, I would pay to be a part of this community, because there's just so much giving, right? And I've seen online there's courses you're paying $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 to get high level coaching for marketing or for anything like that. But what we get as part of this wealth community is second to none. And it really is a gift. So funding, how did I get my funding? While I was building the business, I was working. So I dedicated a portion of my income to the business initially and did that over time. So I would just keep adding different categories of products to the product line. So we have, lots of different products, but that just took really peeling back my personal expenses, and then putting everything into the business. And a lot of people, will say, well, how, everyone can't afford to do that. Well, then there are other ways, right? And Miss Alicia, she can attest to it. There are other ways. Like, this is your traditional business. Zolani Beauty is your old school business. New school business, you don't have to touch that product. You don't have to have layers of products sitting in the corners of your room and looking at it and taking the pictures yourself and doing all that. All that stuff is done for you. Maybe Miss Alicia can talk a little bit as to the, how that works. Because
Yes. So here at the Academy, we have the ability to make several streams of income. And one of our academies is called ECX, where we will actually show you how to set up and start your own online drop shipping. You'll have your own online store. And I was fortunate enough to come in contact with the CEO movement and found out about this. So now with my online store, mybeststore.com, I'm not shipping anything. It's as simple as me selling a product. And so, for example, say I was selling a pocketbook. On my store, I sell it for $80, but I spent $30 from the wholesaler, and then my profit is $50. So with drop shipping, you decide what you want to sell it for and how much profit you want to make.
right.
There's no overhead. I'm not paying for a building. I'm not paying for electricity or gas or water. I'm not paying for ship. I don't have to go to the post office. I don't have to have them come to me to pick up anything. And it's been a blessing because I can add to my store all the time and I don't have to worry about cluttering up my place with any merchandise. It's the best thing going. I've talked to some people who said that it cost them thousands of dollars to start a drop shipping or e-commerce. I have not experienced that because with the Academy, it's $324 a month. Now, I would not allow 3 figures to cause me to miss out on 6 figures. Okay.
Now, Miss Alicia, let me even say this, right? Paying that. Remember in the beginning when I was saying maybe get a virtual assistant or get some help or whatever. By the time you factor in, and I can speak from it because my business is online as well. By the time you factor in that big learning curve that I've had for 5 years and still having to like work with my product and move it and go to the post office, although currently putting in some different systems, you're saving time and that energy we were talking about. You're saving time, you're saving energy. You could curate a store that is completely you because you love your fur babies.
Mm-hmm.
And this store is all things Alicia, right? So it just sounds really amazing to me. So you're not touching product, because I know when I think about the parts of my business that are the most difficult to me and that have been, it was that shipping part, figuring it out.
What is the name of your website so that I could get me some lipstick? Because the lipstick is popping.
Thank you.
Eyeshadow.
Or as my daughter would say, it's popping.
Poppin'. It's Zolani Beauty with an X. I want to see if I have a big thing that you can see it. Well, like XOLANI beauty.com.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
this lipstick is Boudoir.
Okay.
How did you? Wait. I was trying to take notes. How do you spell it?
Hold
on. See you. Okay, go ahead. XO
LANI beauty. BEAUTY.
And that's a dot, and that's a COM, right?
.com. Yeah.
Okay, .com. You see how simple you can be in this academy and take it all the way to elementary school level of learning, right?
Yes.
Now, you said something before, and I wanted to hit on the mentorship. So when I was a single parent, I did a lot of different things. And I remember, because my daughter, she was kind of always in private school, Christian school, private school. And I remember I would sell cakes. I would bake. I mean, I'm vegan now, and I don't bake as much as I was, which that's going to change soon. Because God got some plans we've been talking about, and we got some.
What's going to change, the vegan or the baking?
The baking.
Okay.
we got some things in the mix where I'll be doing my own pop-ups and different things. God gave me a good idea. So it'll probably be, end of this year, maybe next year. But I baked a lot. And I used to sell cakes, decorate cakes and different things like that. And at first when I started out, because I baked from scratch, trying different recipes, trying different techniques, because I took classes and different things. And at first it was not always good, but then I got better. So I would actually go to the job and I would sell cake slices for $1. But even though I was selling cake slices, I still didn't have a grasp of the potential of what I could have been selling that cake for. I did have people wanting to buy the cakes, but I didn't have direction and I didn't have support. So I was kind of out there on my own trying to figure it out. Okay. And I did all the different things. I sold the lotions, the potions, the girdles, the Amway, the insurance, the baskets, the noni juice, but I never had support. So it just didn't stick for me. I didn't stay in one thing beyond like 3 months because I didn't have the support. But in this space, the mentorship here is top notch. From the academy, the information that you get from the academy, the online videos, to the Go Live educators, to the Zoom calls. It's like you mentioned it. We have several people we can go to and get information. So for example, if I wanted to know something about marketing, for example, if Latoya has already done something, she's not stingy. Not holding on to the information. She's going to share with everybody what she just did, how much it costs, and what the process would be. So you're not on your own trying to figure it out. If you
Not
need
at all.
if you need a logo or a website, or if you need cards made, or if you need whatever you need for your business, someone here and within our space have already done it, and they're sharing the information. So you don't have to go out and do the research because it's already been done. No one is envy or jealous of one another. We want each other to succeed. We want
Yeah.
we don't want to just pull up to the table and eat. We want everybody to eat
Everybody. Yes.
because
Yes.
it's not about us. It's about the masses. It's
Yes.
about all of us winning.
It truly is.
Because if you don't win, I'm not winning.
Right.
Because
Right.
we're part of the same team, the same family.
Mm-hmm. I remember just last week I saw Dee Dee's post, Queen Dee Dee, and on Instagram, and they were popping. I was like, "Can you teach me, please? Can you teach me how to do those story things?" And it could be something as simple as that, right? That takes your business to the next level, just making it more visually interesting. I was like, I feel like my post would just be like picture. Like, I was gonna ask you, Latoya. I saw your flyer; it looks amazing. So I was gonna call you. And be
Inside
like,
truth though is canva.com.
oh, you use Canva for that?
Canva.com. And then I don't know if you guys have experimented with Facebook, the different effects. Literally, if you go to, like, let's say, I wish you this
We could
technology
share a
would allow
screen.
you to share on my
That's for
screen.
another class. That's for another session.
Tutorial. I was gonna go through a whole semester real quick. But literally, if you go when you're uploading the reels, or I can't think of the word.
The video.
No, your stories. You know how you add a new story?
Uh-huh.
Okay, if you go and add a new story, look at the side where it gives you the option to do the typing, the GIFs, the music. There is like a wand, a magic wand. If you combine your magic wand, combine music, and combine the effects, it's the boomerang effects. Combine all that together, you can do a whole entire video shoot right there on your phone. Like, literally, the way
Well, there's a share button down here. You can share your screen. Because I never noticed what you said. I never noticed that when I share my story, because I have an iPhone.
This will be another class.
She's gonna get her answers.
She's like, I'm gonna get it now.
Determined.
I see create. I see. I don't see no wand. I don't see no wand.
We're gonna have to do a private session. If you want to join the private session, please join our private group, our private VIP group, to get the inside scoop. But no. It's literally, it's so simple. It's all about just thinking outside the box, right? Even as entrepreneurs, as female bosses, when it comes to business, we have to think outside of the box, how to get creative. When one strategy doesn't work, we move on to the next strategy. If that strategy doesn't work, what do I do? Do I just stop? No, I get creative and I find different ways, different avenues to make sure that I'm successful. So with that, I just figured out how to really finesse Facebook, finesse Instagram, finesse Canva, just finesse it all. Keep practicing. And that's what I love about our academy, is we can keep practicing until we finesse the skill, right? Finesse. Us women, us queen CEO are finessers of wealth. I like that.
I love it.
What I love is that sometimes when you have a bunch of women, even though we have men in this space, but I'm talking about the women. Sometimes when you're working with a bunch of women, there's cattiness and there's jealousy and enviness, envy. Is that
Envy.
not like I was making it up, but and I'm not gonna tell you, but so much because I don't want what you're doing. I don't want what you're doing to be that much better than what I'm doing. But I don't get that. I don't get that impression here because when I give you information, whatever you're doing, I want it to look just as good.
Yeah.
I want you to get your results.
Yes.
And I love that our camaraderie. We have such wonderful camaraderie, and we genuinely care about one another. Are we perfect people? No, there's no such thing as perfect people. We all have our days, especially when Latoya hasn't gotten all her rest and she hasn't had 5 cans of coffee. I mean, she may not be her best that day.
I still love you.
I love the fact that we really want to help one another, and we really want to see each other grow and glow. You know what I mean? And I love that. I love that we want to really help one another, and we want each other to succeed. Nobody's jealous and envious, and nobody's pulling on. We're not like crabs in the barrel. We're not pulling you down so you could. We're not trying to do that. There's enough money. There's enough success. There's enough fame. There's enough of everything to go around for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really, 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 really want to ask this question. What caused both of you queens to literally go after your dreams? There's a point in one's life, a aha moment or some type of incident or event that occurs to allow, and that allows an individual to start operating in their purpose and start operating and taking action to their dreams, taking actions into doing something that they've always desired to do. What was that point for you? What was that point of, you know what, enough is enough. I'm going after my goals and my dreams. What was that point? What caused you to escape the race, right? That cycle. What was it for you?
That's a great question, Queen. I would say for me, I had left employment. This is my second time now. It's my little girl. I had left employment before pursuing coaching because I really 100% believe my purpose is to empower others to see the best in themselves. And I believe that has various components, whether it's through beauty, seeing the best in themselves and creating products to help them realize that. And now in this space, understanding that financial challenges do prevent a lot of people from actually walking in their purpose. But I would say after leaving employment, going into entrepreneurship and really struggling, I went back into employment. And no shame in that. I did at that time feel shame because I felt I was creating a community where I was saying, transition, do your own thing. And then I had to go back to work. But that's what I knew how to do. If anyone can take anything from this story, you got to do what you need to do in that season. But then when I left employment the second time, it was a few months after my dad passed away. And he passed away very unexpectedly. And I know the dreams my dad had, the things he wanted to do and accomplish. My dad had, was it 2 or 3 master's degrees and a PhD, but he was still working. He was working till he died. And I'd always known that I didn't want that for myself. I knew that there was a better way, but I had never seen the effect, right? I remember maybe a year before he passed away, we had said, my siblings and I said, let's go on vacation for Christmas. Let's go out. And he was just like, no. The mentality was, we shouldn't be spending that much money. There are other things we can be taking care of. And much respect, right? We got to take care of our responsibilities. But he had lived his whole life from a position of lack, right? And I know for me, 100% believe that abundance comes when you step out and you take risk. No job will give me the freedom that I wanted to achieve and that I prayed for my father. There's no job out there that can do that. So when he passed away, two things happened. One, I transitioned my lifestyle to this vegan lifestyle with Miss Alicia, because I saw him work out even more than I did. And when he passed away, they said it was, when the autopsy revealed that it was a heart attack. It's like, with all the working out.
That was a heart attack.
With all the working out, I knew, like, he was on blood pressure medications, blood pressure was under control. With all the working out and everything, he still died from a heart attack. Granted, we never know, but I felt that it was time to change, have some lifestyle changes and reduce my stress. So it was progression, but I knew when the opportunity came for me to leave work, that was the last time I would go back into work for someone else. And I 100% believe that once by making that decision, and sticking to it and not being afraid, because there have been many times when you look around and you're like, is it working? The temptation to go back will be there, but I've finally grown to the point where I know I can push through it. I can push through it and I can stick with it, and hard times will come, but they don't last forever. And most of us entrepreneurs are very, very creative. So we find a way. And 100% this space has so many ways you can find to make money and to take care of your family, and not only make money, but create wealth. The supply is endless if you're open to learning. So yeah, it's unfortunate that it's tragedy. I feel that some of us are kind of wired for entrepreneurships. I've always had it, but losing, my father, and just knowing that backstory and saying, what do I want for my kids? I do want us to be able to go on that vacation and not think twice and not worry about it. I do want us to be able to have a little more, a lot more, and then not only to take care of ourselves, but to really live the life of our dreams and to live out our purpose. There's no job that could help me do that. It became so much more apparent after that for me. So.
Well, for me, the moment that I realized, so I had always told people, these jobs don't care about you and you're just a number. Something happened to you, they're going to already have your replacement before your seat gets warm. But it wasn't until I experienced something like that it really hit home. So being at the top, not missing any days, being a top performer, the company is doing photo shoots with your picture, advertising on Facebook for people who want to apply for a job, your name being the buzzword, you receiving every accolade, every award, every bonus, everything that the company could offer that people who've been there for like 20 years never even received. And yet here you are, not even permanent, 6 months, and you already got it. To know that with all of that, And with people like, showing up to work intoxicated, under high, going to work, going to lunch, getting high, uh, supervisors being inappropriate with subordinates, and to know that what did it for me was to know that all of my good didn't do anything, because when I made one mistake, and I felt just like the worst employee. I no longer felt like the chosen, the best employee. So one minute I was here, everybody wanted me, I was in demand, I was making all kind of extra money, bonuses, I was at the top, and then I made a mistake, not a mistake that I hid from, a mistake that I brought to their attention, and I was treated just like somebody who had no accolades, the worst employee. Like, I was treated just like a common criminal.
Mm.
And it was that opened my eyes to let me know that they truly don't care about you. They don't care about your family. They don't care that you don't have money to pay bills. They don't care how you're going to buy food for your family. That's not their concern. And when I realized that I was a regular person, I was nobody special, even though people around me thought I was somebody special because I brought in $2 million for this company. People thought that I could do whatever I wanted to do. They thought I was untouchable. But at that moment, I realized I was nobody to them. I was nobody. I meant nothing. So I said, going forward, I'll never let anybody else make me feel that way. You'll never be able to take my dignity. You'll never be able to take my self-respect. You'll never be able to make me feel less than what I am, because that's what I felt like at first. But you know what? Then I had a chance to be home during the pandemic, and I had a chance to hear God's voice. He let me know. Now, I was never mad. I was more disappointed. I was more disappointed in how it was done. But then God let me know, if I had not allowed that to happen, you still would have been working for somebody. So I remember praying, asking God, okay, God, because my daughter would always say, Mama, you need to work for yourself. You don't need to be working for somebody else. You need to work for yourself. And I'm thinking, what can I do? I don't even have no talents. I can't do something. Here I am making products, cooking. And here I am saying to God, what kind of skills do I have? What can I do to make money? And I remember him giving me, had a dream or a vision, and he showed me something I could do. I stepped out and did it, but I didn't do it quite the way that he showed me. So it didn't go off the way that I thought it would. So I stayed at a job. So he let me know that if he had allowed me to stay at that job, I would still be there. And that's not where he wanted me to be. He wanted me to work for me. He wanted me to work all those. If you're going to work extra hours and long hours and you're going to work hard, you need to be working hard for you and your family. If you're going to be making $2 million, you need to be bringing it home to your family, not making somebody else rich. You need to be telling yourself what time you're going to get off, what time you're going to get up, when you're going to take your vacation, how long you can sleep in the day because you were up late the night before working hard. You need to be able to be your own boss, to tell your own self that. So I thank that company for doing what they did, because if they had not done it, I'll still be there working for them, making them look good. Making them look good, making them richer, lining their pockets. So that experience although it was bittersweet, sometimes you have to do what God tell you to do the first time. Because God is a gentleman. He doesn't just rush in and make all these changes.
He very humorous too.
He does it slowly at your pace. He does it where it's not going to completely cause you to feel overwhelmed and like you're going to lose your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not going to put all that on your plate like somebody else would do. He's going to take his time and talk to you about what it is he wants you to do. And he's going to show it to you. And it's not going to feel, you're not going to feel rushed. But had I believed more in myself, and had I saw what my daughter saw in me, I wouldn't have had to go that route. Because he was talking to me. He was showing me. But I was afraid. I was afraid to step out because now I'm doing something that I've never done, and I don't know if I'm gonna be good. I don't know if I'm gonna fail. And it was the fear of failing. I didn't want to fail. But guess what? There's worse things than failing. The worst thing to failing is never starting. If you never start, you don't know how well or how good or bad you would have done if you didn't even have enough faith to step out to see what you could have accomplished, how far you could have gotten. And I'm a firm believer that when you step out in faith, even if you step out in faith of something God didn't tell you to do, if you step out in faith and do it, God will meet you. He will still help you. As long as what you're doing is not detrimental to your health or someone else's health, I'm a firm believer that God will meet you where you're at. I'm a firm believer of that. Because God, he works off of faith. Tears don't move him. Our faith is what moves God. He's like, yeah, I can work with her. But she got enough faith to believe that she can do what everybody else told her she couldn't do. I can work with this one right here. This one right here. This one is bold. This one is she ain't listen to the naysayers. She ain't listen to them saying you shouldn't sell makeup. Everybody's selling makeup. Naya, everybody's selling makeup. Why would you come up with makeup? Everybody has makeup. They don't have your makeup.
Right.
They don't have your brand. They don't have your integrity. They don't have your sweat and tears. They don't have your blessings behind your product. That's what they don't have. And because you're doing it and you're doing it gracefully, God is going to bless your business.
Amen.
So we got to stop seeing with these eyes. We got to see beyond. We got to see the end result. We got to see in a sphere. We got to see what God is seeing. Because as long as we see in our circumstances, that'll always discourage us. And we don't need to be like that. We need to see the end results. We need to see that. Yeah. So should I have listened? Yeah, but this learning experience, I couldn't have gotten it any other way. It wouldn't have impacted me the way that it did. I would not have made a decision to say, I'm going to work for me. I'm going to be my best boss. I'm going to be the best boss I can be, the best leader I can be. And I'm going to step out in faith and trust God to help me.
4 months. And I really.
So
wow. That it's okay. I was reading a comment on the screen. From Naya sharing her learning experience from her father. Miss Alicia, your learning experience from the corporate side. I really feel like who's ever watching this now, who will watch the replay, I really feel y'all's story will impact them in a way of pushing them to continuing to go after their dreams, go after their goals, even if any obstacle that comes their way, right? To continue to push. No matter how big the obstacle may be, continue to push, to jump, to leap over, to overcome, to have that faith, right? Put in that work, and allow God to do the rest. But you first have to take that first step, and that's what I've heard from both of you guys' story, both of you ladies' story, is you didn't stop. You didn't stop. Naya, you could have stopped. You could have went into a depression. You could have went into a deep grief. You could have just stayed in your spot, but you did not stop. Miss Alicia, you did not allow the chains of bondage to stay on you, right? You overcame that. So thank you. So do y'all have any last comments for our viewers? It is 10:54, and definitely do not want to keep you all long, but are there any last comments? What can they look forward to from the CEO, from the queens of the CEO? What things are staring up? Can you give us a little inside scoop? A little inside scoop.
Just a little bit. Well, I just want to thank you for calling us to the table and opening up your platform to host us today. Very grateful to you, Queen. Thank you for taking this action and allowing us to share. It's been incredible. I hope someone has been inspired. I hope someone takes the chance to dream, to know that your dreams are valid and achievable if you're open to taking risk. Listen to that voice inside, take some risk, take action. But know that you don't have to walk your journey alone. And that's what the Queens of the CEO movement are. It's an opportunity for you to partner with people who may be doing something that you're not doing, an opportunity for you to learn. I have an e-commerce store, but I can still learn, right? If you want to go to the next level, you want to go with people who are already doing something that you want to learn how to do, something that you're not doing that you want to learn how to do. This community has been incredible. It's been transformational. I'm grateful to both of you and to all of our queens and kings in the CEO movement. So thank you so much.
Well, I always, I again, as Naya said, I thank you for allowing us to be a, part of the platform tonight. And I love our movement. I love what we're doing. We are family. We're not just a team. We're a family. And, sometimes you're, especially when you don't have a close-knit family, or if you don't have a big family, this to me is the next best thing to, family. And what I want to leave those that are listening to us, whatever dream God gave you, whatever God put in your heart to do, even if it seems really big and you don't know how you're going to get it done, trust God. Have faith that if He gave it to you, He's going to make a way for you to execute. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the people that are telling you can't do something, what you can't do, where you can't go, who you can't be. Surround yourself around people who have the lifestyle, who are doing some of the things that you want to do in your life. Surround yourself around people in the areas that you want to live, driving the cars you want to drive, living in the house that you want to live, have the type of business you want to have, be around those people that have the information, because they're great resources. Put yourself in a different place. Change your mindset. After you change your mindset, don't go around people that don't have your mindset. I'm not saying they have to agree with you and they have to think like you, but poor people don't need to take advice from poor people. Poor people take advice from people that have wealth. Wealthy people don't take advice from poor people. So why would a poor person take advice from somebody else who's living the same way that they're living? Get out your comfort zone, open your mind, have an open mind, think outside the box, do something that you've never done before. What you're doing right now, and if it's not working, if you're working a second job, or if you're working overtime, or if you're doing something that you can't stand to do, you hate to get up in the morning because you hate what you do, do something different. Do something different. Did you know that the market has $8.6 trillion in the market? You can literally come to our academy. You can learn how to trade in the market. And if you're saying that's not for me, you already a part of it because your bank is doing it and they're using your money to do it. They're making millions of dollars and they're giving you 0.06% interest. So you're already part of this world. So do something different. Surround yourself around people who don't think like you. Surround yourself around people who think higher. If you're trying to go higher, don't stay down here with people that's here. Go higher. Change your surrounding. No, don't act like you're better than anybody else, but start thinking better than how you thought yesterday. Allow your tomorrow to be different than your today. Okay?
Well, ladies, the mic has been dropped. We all are going.
I like that.
Thank you all for viewing. And until next time, we will see you at the top because the bottom
It's too crowded.
Oh,
Let's go. All right.
love you all. Kisses,
Love
kisses.
you, love you, love you, love you. Thank you. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.